Hi everyone. Today I thought I'd do a really quick tutorial on how I dye my plain white seam binding, silk seam binding. A lot of people have seen how pretty the colours are that I use on my cards and my creations. Here's some that I did. This is a new colour called Groovy Guava. Hang on, Grapefruit Grove. Oh, Virginia will get it right one day. Anyway, this one. So this started out as white and ended up this. So what I'm going to do is show you the process from start to finish. You'll need some rubbing alcohol. This is the one I use in Australia. It's called Isocol. I think, yep, you get it in the supermarket, in the aisle where you'd get probably Band-Aids and then disinfectant, antiseptic, that sort of thing. You'll want a re-inker. Now I'm going to do Puppy Parade because I absolutely adore how bright red this is, and if you know me, you know that I love bright red. So what I've done is I've grabbed myself, hello, it fell on the floor. That's good because it's mixed itself a bit more for me. I'll just pick it up. Here we go. So I filled it to about 1.5 centimeters from the top, and then I used approximately 24 to 30 drops of the re-inker. Now don't worry if that sounds like a lot, because these re-inkers go a long way. This will probably dye me 3 to 6 meters depending on how deep I want the color. So let's get going. I mixed it up beforehand because it can be messy and stuff, and you'll see why I get such inky stained fingers. Okay, so first off, I've measured out 3 meters, and I will take the lid off my spritzer. And these mini spritzers are great. They come in 2 in a packet, and have been in the catalogue forever, and they're the most handiest tool. Another handy dandy tool that most people have in their house are Ziploc bags. So I spritz a little bit in the Ziploc bag first. Whoop. Right, so it's in the bottom of the bag and around. Then I stuff in the ribbon and seam binding, and you don't have to be restricted. We know Stampin' Up! Does not have any seam binding anymore, but I'll let you know. I buy this from a stockist in New York City, and I only have to buy it every 2 or 3 years because I get it on 100 meter or 100 yard roll. So can you see how bright that's going already? And just trusty tweezers, because yeah, you'll get ink everywhere, but the tweezers help to keep a lot of it. And I spray more into the bag, and you'll probably use about half of what you've made up. Okay, and then I'll just squish the air out of the bag, zip it up, and then smooch it all around. Right, now see, it goes up into a ball. Just keep smooching it around. Good word, that, smooch. Means more than one thing, doesn't it? Down here in Australia, smooch, give us a smooch, honey. Anyway, can you see it's soaked it up? Look how bright that is. I just love it. Anyway, then take it out of the bag. Now you can see I've used some of my packing paper from previous Stampin' Up! Orders. I do have my grid paper behind this, but because this is kind of messy, I'm just going to grab every little bit of ink that's still in that bag. Okay, then I tip it out onto there. Now you'll see, look, using the tweezers to separate some of it, if the tweezers will work for me. Hello, they're getting a bit old, I must have bent them. We'll pick it up with my fingers. See how some spots are still white? Just come along and give it a spritz. This is why you need to protect your work surface, because by using rubbing alcohol, once you've used your heat gun to set it, it's permanent. Don't be tempted to do it with water. You can, but it will fade. And trust me, it does fade. And if you're like me and want those covers bright and vivid, you don't want it to fade. Okay, there's another little bit. One more spritz. Okay, and done. Can chuck that out now. Don't try and recycle it. They're cheap. Well, you can if you want to, if you've got the space. I don't have the space to save stuff like that. Okay, so see, it's all nice and covered. The next thing I do is put the lid back on this. Right, so that's ready for the next lot that I want to do, and this will last me a while. Now it's going to get a bit noisy, so I usually, see how it's smooth and this is crinkled? This is how I do it. So, sorry about the noise, but you'll see what I mean. I will scrunch it up, and this is where I get really ink stained. So I'll scrunch it up once I've got most of it dry. And that takes a bit of time. And if you want to, see how it fades a little bit? It's fading a little bit as it dries. You can experiment with mixtures of the re-inkers. You want this a bit darker, you know what I could probably do? Put maybe one drop of lovely lipstick, but that's got a more pink tint. This is where Virginia gets inky. Reggie gets so inky with it. Don't be tempted to put that heat gun too close to your hand. It's mighty hot, mighty hot. See the mess? And you might have some spots that aren't quite as dark as other spots. But that's okay, because that's the kind of look I like. If you, once you've got it all dry and you want it smooth, you can use a hair straightener. I got this really cute little handy dandy hair straightener a few years ago. $5 from Harvey Norman. It's brilliant. If I can get it down, I will show you. You don't want to come down. This is what happens when you live in a shoebox. You got to be really creative with where you put stuff. There's my hair straightener. It's by Remington. So it's got a little on-off switch in there. And if I wanted to straighten this out, it only takes a minute or two to heat up and just go, and you've got it dead straight again. But I just like it crumpled and creased and wrinkled and kind of boho chic looking, if you could call that. So that's how, let's take this scrap paper away and you can see just how lovely and bright that is. That is going to go with the project that I'm making for my Fabulous Fridays at 5. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so there you go. There you have it. That is how Virgie makes her hand-dyed seam and ribbon binding. You can try it with the gorgeous new ribbon that's in the new catalogue. Check this out. I'll put some red behind it so you can see it. Isn't that cute? It's Whisper White polka dot and comes in very vanilla as well. But you can dye this as well exactly the same way I did this. But be very careful with the heat gun because it's synthetic. It could shrivel. But I haven't tried it yet, but I'll let you know. Okay, so that's how Virginia makes her hand-dyed seam binding on a lot of the projects that you see her use. See you later.